Hello, my name's Avery Crosdale, and today I'm going to be talking about the giant panda. So, I wanted to start out with a little question, and what do all of these animals have in common? So, we have a sloth, a giant panda, a saber-toothed tiger, and a woolly mammoth. All of these animals were actually alive during the Ice Age, which started about 2 million years ago and ended around 12,000 years ago. So, the giant panda basics. The giant panda is around 2 to 3 million years old, so around the time of the Ice Age. Most pandas in the wild live for about 15 to 20 years, and they live for about 30 years in captivity. This is just because in the wild there's diseases, and it's harder on their bodies when they're waiting for their own food and climbing all these mountains, and it's easier on their bodies when they're being fed and under close watch from predators. And if they have any sickness or injuries, they can be taken to the animal hospitals that are provided for them, and they can take care of that. So, pandas are about 5 feet tall and 330 pounds, and they actually have 6 fingers on their front, like feet or hands, and this actually helps them climb mountains for food. So they do this in the summer. So they like to stay in the valleys of Southeast Asia, and they stay down in the valley during the winter, but in the summer they like to go up the mountains and look for food. And the highest that they usually climb is about 13,000 feet. Pandas eat about 26 to 86 pounds of bamboo a day, depends on the activity of the panda or if they're pregnant, because a panda who is out in the wild and is very active will need to eat more than a panda who is in captivity and maybe not as active. The endangerment of the giant panda. In the 1980s, the giant panda was announced endangered, and this was mostly from logging and mining. So, logging from the 1950s and the 1980s destroyed most of the giant panda's habitat because it took away their shelter and their food source. And the population decreased by 80%. So, in 1980 there was about 1,114 pandas. And then they did a big logging halt to help rebuild their environment, and this has been for about 40 years, and it almost doubled the population with 1,864 pandas now. Mining also affected the giant panda population. Mining caused soil erosion and water pollution, so not only did we take away their food and their home, we also took away the water that they are supposed to be drinking. And then survival of the fittest, less and less pandas meant less genetic diversity. So it was harder for them to adapt to the environment, and they were more vulnerable to diseases. So efforts being made to protect the giant panda. China has over 40 reserves for the giant panda. The Wanlong Nature Reserve is a really good example of these nature reserves over there because it's just a really good place. There's a 5,000 square foot lab to help look into that genetic diversity and see what pandas should be bred with what pandas to create the best panda to go out into the wild to fight off these diseases and other things that nature might throw their way. And it has a 5,000 square foot hospital for when these pandas do get injured or when they do have babies. There are 59 enclosures that are indoor and outdoor, and then there's a 680-acre bamboo forest. China's government also partnered with WWF to help raise money and awareness for the giant panda because it was really hard to just do it all on their own. Like, let's reach out, let's get all these other countries involved because this is the world's problem, not China's problem. And they plan to have better security in the Qingling and Mishan Mountains. They want to provide a more freeing environment for the pandas that's super secure. They want them to be able to be in the wild again and be in the homes that they're supposed to be in, They're wild animals, they're supposed to be in the wild. But poachers, however, make that not very possible. So they want to have higher security from poachers. And what is WWF? So, WWF stands for World Wildlife Fund, and they help raise funds for endangered animals to repair their habitats and resources. So, they work with countries all over the world for many different endangered species, and they raise money by donors and projects from people donating as little as $5 to $5,000. And WWF has saved about 48 mammals and birds since the 1990s with the program. And I just wanted to end off with this little quote that meant a lot to me. And it says, endangered means we still have time, but extinction is forever. And I really like this quote because it means that we do have time and we should be doing whatever we can to save these animals because this is their home too, and it's not just ours. Thank you.